This week, as the media and members of Congress were sifting through the latest Jeffrey Epstein files released by the Department of Justice, one topic continued to elude them, and that would be Epstein's by now well-established ties to Israeli and U.S. intelligence. So our Capitol Hill correspondent, Julian Andreone, put the question directly to members of Congress to force them to finally at least have to answer the question. Here's what they told him.
I'm not following that.
You're not following the Jeffrey Epstein thing at all?
It's only superficial. I mean...
Here, let me come around to the other side of you.
It is tawdry, but, like, that's just not where my head. In fact, I deliberately try not to read it because...
Really?
I got so many things... You know, right now we got so many important things we're having to do.
It's not important? I mean, it could be a national security threat.
It is important, but it is nothing over which I have control. I really don't know what you're talking about.
I don't know, but obviously this now circulation information that this is more tied to maybe international maligned interest is something we should figure out.
I have any idea about that.
We have some
important. I think it's, and I haven't seen all the reporting, but I do think it is important that the documents released and giving the committees and others appropriate time to go through them to see what has happened, what's going on.
Well, let's put it this way. Our investigation is continuing. We've got a lot to do. I think there are particularly Wall Street bank issues, where those banks just look the other way, constantly. And let's put it this way, we're not going to leave those issues off the table.
I haven't read any of that stuff. I apologize. I'm too busy trying to figure out our issues right here.
Okay.
Ask another member on intelligence.
There's a number of different reports here. There was an Israeli spy who stayed in his apartment in New York City for several weeks on end. I mean, this is somebody who has spent a bunch of time with the most powerful political and business elites in our country. Jeffrey Epstein, that is.
I'm not debating that. What I'm saying is that that's totally dependent on who was actually there when this alleged agent was there.
Right. So if he was just staying there alone.
If the agent was just there with Epstein, and Epstein doesn't have confidential / classified information, then what are we talking about?
No, of course, that all should be looked into. I just don't go off of, Reddit posts. I want to see actual evidence of it.
Well, we've gone through the emails. I mean, I can send you a link to our reporting. This is not Reddit posts.
No, I understand, but there's a lot of emails. They don't necessarily mean that it's fact, right?
Right.
So, but there's obviously...
But if you have the former Prime Minister of Israel and then Jeffrey Epstein himself coordinating together to arrange for one of his top aides and spies to stay in the apartment, that is more than a Reddit post, no?
No, yeah, and that should be looked into.
Okay.
Just like
Fair.
all the Trump stuff is being looked into, just like the stuff with the royal family in England's being looked into, so like all of that should be looked into. Yeah, absolutely.
Look, I don't know anything about that, so... the DOJ should just disclose all of the documents that they have as required by law.
I wouldn't be surprised.
You wouldn't be surprised? Why is that?
Well, you got to ask yourself, how was he allowed to get away with what he was getting away with for so long? Using sexual exploitation like that is been a tactic used by many intelligence agencies.
I mean, the more I learn about what's in these files, the more I learn about Epstein's ties, nothing would surprise me.
I don't know.
You don't know?
I don't know. I have no idea. Not something that I have any information about.
Do you think, based on any of the public reporting, he had any ties to intelligence agencies?
I have no idea.
I have no idea. I'm still just a freshman up here, so I'm still trying to learn the ropes, but I have no idea what ties he had to anybody.
Boy, I don't know the answer to that. But this is another reason why full transparency is absolutely necessary.
We need to have a full release of these Epstein papers, of these files.
Where there's a lot of smoke, there's fire. That's all I can say. Yeah.
Okay.
I read a lot of those emails. So.
I mean, I'm concerned with the implications to so many people in power and people currently in this administration.
First I've heard about it,
We're working appropriation bills today, and that's where my focus is today.
I do not know the answer to that. I know there's a lot of speculation and a lot of reporting about it, but I've not been able to systematically study.
Have you seen any of the reporting that's public or
I've
the
seen
emails?
the reporting, yes.
Do you think he had any ties to intelligence agencies?
I have no idea.
Right now, it's clear. We need not only to get access to all of the documents, we need to make sure somebody from Congress is seeing the unredacted versions, and then it's time to start the hearings.
Are there any in specific that you are suspicious of with regard to the intelligence agencies that he may be working with?
You know, I wouldn't be surprised if he was involved with our intelligence agency.
Okay.
And possibly other foreign intel agencies as well.
Would Israel's Mossad be included in that group? There was an Israeli spy who stayed at his apartment for multiple periods of weeks on end.
Yeah, I'm not confirming that I have knowledge of it, but it wouldn't surprise me.
If that is the case, yes, I would imagine, you know, it does go beyond the sex trafficking ring, and so, you know, I haven't seen any of that evidence, but I certainly would be interested in whatever connections there were.
Have you seen any evidence that Jeffrey Epstein had any links to intelligence? Nothing? No links at all? Do you think Jeffrey Epstein had any ties to any intelligence agencies? Congresswoman? So you just heard from members of Congress who I spoke with up on Capitol Hill about whether they believe that Jeffrey Epstein had any ties to intelligence agencies, a claim that we have since proven and established time and time again in our reporting at Dropsite News. We showed that an Israeli spy named Yonyi Corin stayed in Jeffrey Epstein's New York City apartment for multiple periods of several weeks on end. We showed that Jeffrey Epstein and former Prime Minister of Israel, Ehud Barak, worked together to establish a Backchannel to Russia during the Syrian civil war. We showed that they were involved in arms transfers to certain countries like the Côte d'Ivoire in Africa. Many members, as you saw there, told us that they hadn't read anything about it or they hadn't seen about it. They would need to look into it more. Well, the Department of Justice on Monday opened up the Epstein files to members of Congress. They are allowing members of Congress now to go to the Department of Justice and review certain documents and files within that batch, unredacted. Congressman Ro Khanna, who co-wrote the Epstein Files Transparency Act with Congressman Thomas Massie, told Midas Touch reporter Pablo Manriquez that the vast majority of the documents within that batch at the Department of Justice are still redacted, even for members of Congress who go to review them. But there are members of Congress who I spoke with who said that they did get the chance to review documents they were interested in seeing unredacted. So let's hear from them here. What can you tell us?
There's a bunch of sick fucks.
And I mean, anything more that we don't know? I feel like that's pretty well established.
I know. I think the part that is just so disgusting is that so many people knew. I have not yet seen them.
You going?
Yeah, I want to.
Are there any specific documents or specific claims that you're going to look into, or you got a chance to review specific?
This can't be a one and done.
Yeah.
Partly I want to talk to the folks who've already been there and what they've seen, but I just want to go see the whole layout. How do we take a look at 2 million files? They won't let us bring.
They're getting 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I talked to
you
Becca
get your
Balint
30
the other day.
minutes?
She got 30 minutes.
Yeah, give me a break. You know, talk about another way to say we have figured one more trick to make sure that nobody really digs into these files, particularly because when they're crossing things out, you can't know if their index is accurate. Where the real hard work gets done is when somebody has the time and the patience to sit down and start cross-hatching it.
Have you had an opportunity to review the unredacted files at the DOJ?
I have not.
Is that something that you're interested in doing?
Very interested in it. I just haven't done it yet.
What are you going to be looking for when you go and see those unredacted files?
I just want to see full transparency and justice.
But you're going to have an opportunity to see specific documents. Is there anything that you've already prepared to see?
I have not.
Are you going to look into the intelligence ties? There's tons of reporting.
Yeah, well, you guys can help us on that as well. So
Thank you.
Keep reporting.
Like, would you be able to see if he was working with foreign governments?
Theoretically, but it's kind of looking for a needle in a haystack. I mean, yeah, I'm
You don't think that's the majority of the story?
I just, well, no, I just don't know what's there. It's very difficult to use their research methodology in their computer. It's hard to find stuff.
Congressman, based on some of the documents you've seen, are there any ties that you can make out between Jeffrey Epstein and any intelligence
I have
agencies?
not reviewed any of them in person other than what's been produced already.
Any intelligence agency ties that you've seen based on
any of that. No.
Well, obviously, there appears to be selective redactions, which the Trump administration is engaging in. And I think it's very important to understand what was redacted that should not have been redacted. Obviously, they did not protect young women in terms of redactions, but the question ultimately is, were they redacting the names of men, especially, whose names could have been identified?
Look, there are a lot of different documents, and there are 3 million. So we'll start with some of the basics. I was disappointed that some of the most critical documents remain redacted. A prosecution memo of 86 pages from the Southern District of New York, a draft indictment with the names of co-conspirators. There's no basis for those to be redacted, and so I'm disappointed in that. There also are other documents I found that are publicly redacted, but should not be. And so we're going to continue to follow up with that.
Not anything specific. I mean, I haven't had a chance to look at anything that hasn't been totally redacted, just like everybody else. So having the opportunity to be able to see some of that, and then having had the chance to talk to some of the members who've looked at some of the files, they're very, very concerned, and the implications are pretty big. And that's literally all they've said. So I think it's important.
Are you planning to go and look at them?
At some point.
Okay. Is there anything in specific you're going to be looking for? Because you get to choose the documents you see.
I'll have to ask advice from people who've seen them.
Yeah.
You know, what's the most important things to look at?
I don't have any preliminary thoughts. I've just been trying to focus on the ICE negotiation this week.
Are you planning to go over there?
I don't have any plans to go in the immediate future.
Thank you for watching. I'm Ryan Grimm, a reporter for DropSite News, an independent, nonprofit news outlet. If you're not signed up to get our free newsletter, you can find that at dropsitenews.com. We host a live stream every Tuesday morning at 9:30 Eastern. Tune in if you can. Our revenue model relies on readers, and we're currently facing a lawsuit over an article we published last year called The BBC's Civil War Over Gaza. A BBC editor is suing the author of that story, and we're covering the legal expenses. If you can chip in to help, go to legalfund.dropsitenews.com. Contributions are tax deductible to the fullest extent of the law. And if you want to make a larger gift, you can email majorgiving@dropsitenews.com or find the Ways to Give section on our website. Again, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.